Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever around the world you are. This is Microsoft Security Hero, your community, and another live session. My name is Saidol, and I'm proud that I'm going to host another session with amazing speakers. And we are having another topics pretty much hot, and we are going to learn a lot of good things about specific topics today. So basically, we are almost the end of the November. We have two sessions left, and we are going to planning for next year, 2026, with some kind of new things bringing to the community. So as you know, global Microsoft Zero Two Hero community, it's a global community, and we are hosting different sessions from different regions. So if you are a speaker, make sure that you reach out us via LinkedIn or our CFS page that we are going to publish it soon for 2026. And then basically you can submit your session, we evaluate it, and then you can be on a stage. Either for Microsoft Hero or program under Microsoft Hero, Microsoft Next Gen, which is specifically for students in the Microsoft Word. So with no wasting more time, I have my two slides here as usual. Today we having Thiago, who is one of those basically people that they can work and fix the problems and find the best solutions when it comes to AKS work. And today session is about building intelligence application and quick guides to AI on AKS. Imagine your application not just responding, but understand, not just processing, but learning. So in this session, basically, Thiago take us inside the evaluation toward intelligence application running on Kubernetes cluster on Azure. So next slide for me is code of conduct. So in Microsoft Hero live session, we expect you to be aware of others, be friendly, be welcoming and respectful, be open to all questions and viewpoints, be understanding of differences, and also be kind and considerate to others. With that said, I'm going to bring Thiago on a stage. Hello, Thiago. How are you, man?
Hey, hello, Sid. How good. Thank you for having me. Thank you a lot
Yeah,
for
it's
this
it's it's amazing having speakers like you with new ideas and a lot of experience that's going to be shared by the with the audience. Okay, Tiago. Before we start, I have one question to all of my speakers that I'm hosting. So basically, what do you think? Why Microsoft Learn is important, and it's the place that we can start always with there.
Yeah, so what happens is Microsoft Learn is a platform that you can learn a lot of skills into Microsoft's products, and not just from Microsoft products. If you are in programming, I remember taking my first course in Microsoft Learn platform about GitHub, and you do a Git and you commit. And I remember collecting these experiences and see your XP growing up is quite a nice way to gamify your experience of learning. So it's having fun and yeah, I really recommend people to join Microsoft Learn.
Nice, nice. Perfect. So before you start, we normally do this. If there is any questions and a good questions that is going to be selected by you, Tiago, then that person will get a 50% discount for any type of Microsoft exams. So if you have any questions, shoot it out in the comments. We will show it, and Tiago will answer it by in the end of the session, and the best question will get that discount for the Microsoft exams. Good. So with that said, I'm going to bring this one into here, and I'm staying in the backstage. If there is any question, Tiago, just say my name and I'll be there. Okay.
Thanks, Ed.
Good luck.
Okay, welcome everyone. So today talks will be about building intelligence applications. So it's a quick guide on AI on AKS. I have built this talk a few months ago, but I had to update it because AI is always moving so fast, and we need to keep up. So a little bit about myself. I'm a Kube astronaut since last year. That means I have all the certifications in Kubernetes from the CNCF. This year I became a Microsoft Azure MVP in this category and AKS and open source. And I'm also a Docker captain. And through the Microsoft Learning, I got this certification in the Azure AI Associate Engineer Associate. So if you want to follow me, follow this QR code and connect with me on LinkedIn. Okay, so what is AKS? AKS is a service for managed Kubernetes in the Azure, and it is really powerful because it leverages not just what Kubernetes can do, that it is orchestrating microservices, but also connecting with other services in the Azure ecosystems. And another thing that I believe is important is that since Kubernetes and open source, from the open source community, we get the innovation that usually happens a bit more quicker than some products inside big companies like Microsoft. So we can benefit from this innovation. And one of the tools that I will show here today, and also the framework, is from this community. So if you're not familiar with Kubernetes, don't be afraid of exploring. You can find in the Microsoft Learn a lot of tutorials and how to use it. It's really nice tools and really powerful for building your applications. Why Azure, right? Azure has these end-to-end services that connect a lot of features that make life easier for any developer and product team. So you can connect using inside the Kubernetes services your developer tools. From security, you have the Microsoft Entra, and recently for the agents as well. That is another topic I will be touching here today. And inside AI, you have both machine learning inside there and your AI services. And of course, nothing in AI live without data, right? And everything that you have in data today, you can use to train your AI's models. So this is why you should take a look more on the Azure Kubernetes services and other solutions inside the Azure. It gives you the whole platform for this cloud native approach. So let's step back a little bit, and I will use this as a foundation. It's called Diaper Store. So if you go to, I will send this link. I'm not sure if you can get this link in the comments, but if you go to Azure Samples GitHub, you have the Diaper Store, and Diaper Store is a microservices blueprint, so it can show you how microservices connect and build to be event drive resilient and portable to deploy in AKS. And why I take this is because this is a really well used case. It is a commerce and you have your product tables and your orders and users, and all of these can be different services and connect each other to give this experience to the client. I will use this as a foundation, but you will go through 5 levels of using AI inside this application and how we can improve it and make it more intelligent. Okay, so this is the high level 5 levels that will talk today. It's first you start with just implementing an API endpoint as a chatbot, or you can just create a description of a product there based on generative AI. And this is the easiest way to connect with the intelligence in your application, right? You just needed to point to API endpoint using OpenAI endpoint or the models available in the Azure. But then after that, you may want to bring your own model. So you can bring in open source model using Kaido. This will be in our level 2. And Kaido is another open source project so you can operate and serve your own open source model. And the third level is, since you are operating with open source model, you may want to train that model in your own data. And training the model in your own data make it really valuable for your own use case. The next level will be automating the MLOps. So MLOps is another field that is really huge besides DevOps, that it is really integrating the whole cycle and the constant loop of involving your models and checking for new data, training, data drift, configuration drift that can be retrained and being deployed. And this is the fourth level. And the fifth level, this is the addition that I made in this talk for today. It's really how you can create agents, because the beginning of the year we are talking about saying just Gen AI and creating description or chatbot, but right now we can deploy agents, and agents inside this kind of services like e-commerce can be really helpful. And all of this is possible because Microsoft has recently launched the Microsoft Agent Framework and how it connects with the Agent Range protocol. Okay, so we have a lot to cover. Let's start. So level one, let's integrate the GenAI using the managed APIs. So here I have the simple architecture, right? We have the front end in there, and in the product servers, there I can create a description for a product. So this is quite simple. We will go inside this application, create and enhance a search for content summarization or conversational questions and answers. This is basically what we can see in most of the websites, right? You open a chat there, and it is a kind of AI talking to you. But also you can use this for in the administrative panel or a dashboard to create these descriptions or summarizing based or create even generate image for the product. This is the first and quite easy way to do this. It's just adding a point to your model that is already available in the AI services in Azure. Or you can also use another endpoint and secure that endpoint inside the Azure Kubernetes services. So the next level is bringing the open source model. So you know that when you use API, is you pay for like calls, right? How many calls you're making for that specific API endpoint, and it's pay as you go. But sometimes you can also having the same. If you consider the cost, you can run that one inside of the infrastructure and pay for the infrastructure that you are using, and you can use it as a serverless or putting using Kaido that will handle all the hard lift of setting up the GPUs and deploying the model, creating an endpoint, and then you can just swap the from the level one that it is just an endpoint API for managed API to your self-hosted AI, and then this may be really cost effective, and you can train because right now we have so many models, and the models are really capable, and sometimes it's easier and cheaper to use open source models for different purposes, right? You don't need to use the same model for all parts of our application. Then we go a little bit in the how Kaido works. So you're just define the as a developer, you define the workspace in YAML and put for the Kaido operator, and it will register both the model as a container and provision the GPU node for you if it is available, and then you can make it and build this. So you can build like a RAG systems that is the generative augmented generation, retrieve augmented generation with some models, and this is really also good because you can start to fine tuning and training the model, fine tuning training, is the next level. And another thing that is important to mention is that this project became general available on AKS to use since October 25. So when you fine tune a model, so this is the next level, and for sure this will be a step up uh, on your journey. Fine tuning is the beginning of the machine learning operations. Imagine that you have the data that you want to train a model, and just to give a bit of uh, context, sometimes we call the base model, and training a base model is quite resource intensive, but fine tuning a model using LoRa or LoRa QLoRa make it a bit more easier because you don't need to train all the parameters of a model, and you can make it really, really align with your specific use case in your data. So imagine that you are this e-commerce that in this case sells, let's say, uh, pet, right? You sell pet store, and you want to train a model that is really specific to your products and your brand. You can take all the descriptions of your products, the brand histories, and train the model to be more aligned with your own specific use case. And this is really nice in the dark because you can take this historical data and predict it and use it for not just the LLM. So just if you're not familiar, the LLM is the large language model that is more related to the natural language process, but you can also use this for more traditional ML models that it is like predictions and predictive for sales, forecasting. This is also a part of the machine learning operations. Okay, now we are going to the level 4, and the level 4 will be really the complete cycle of machine learning and the event-driven architecture. Because we are using DARP, that is another interesting topic. Maybe we can get more on that later. But DARP works really by event-driven and be resilient. If something, one of these services stop working, it can wait to this server be healed and up and running again, because it uses this architecture of pub sub and having this in there as a resilience. And because you are using this event driving, you can make it data set drift detection much easier and creating these event grid triggers to run a new pipeline and train a new model and then deploy the model again. So this become a full cycle of the MLOps. You are not just deploy one model and using it as it is. You are always in constant training and deployment and monitoring your models and seeing the results in your application. And this makes it much easier when you are doing this inside the Kubernetes because you can be sure that your applications will be backing and running really quickly. So imagine this in this case for the DARP store that you have sensors, IoT sensors for data in the warehouse that recognize that has a supply chain disruption, right? Something happens and the lift is not working operational. So this can trigger something in the model that will change the forecast and will create this new constraint. So this is the level 4 when you are using not just models, but you are always constant looping in the environment and retraining your models and redeploying that. Okay. So imagine now that you have these models, you have training, and you did all these pipelines, right? What is the new thing that you want to do? All of these models until now, we are really like just reacting, right? We are reacting to things that, okay, I updated this, I needed to change this system prompt, I want to create it, and you as a human, you needed to type and interact with the LLM to get that. But the new concept and what we have here in 2025, I believe this is the year that will be remembered as the agent year. And Microsoft before they had these two different frameworks for build agents. If you are more from research side, you may have used or heard about the AutoGen. It was multi-agent systems that they could help you on research. And another tool that was used a lot was the semantic kernel that was already implemented and have support for SDK in C Sharp and Python. But really recently, just 1 month ago, Microsoft has released the agent framework. And this agent framework, it's a way to build agents that it is durable for long time workflows. And this is really a game changer because now you can use the LLMs that recently has been training more for using tools. And these tools you can call with MCP toolings and the agent to agent protocol as well. So you can connect and make different agents work together to solve some problems. And this is really interesting. And this is how you can also improve the uh, reliability of systems because of agents. And this come to our level 5 in this dark store. Imagine that now the dark store, you already have and trained your models, you still can use it. So these levels are not mutual excludents, right? You can use that in connection as well. So imagine that you already has come to the level 4, you are having trained your own models, but now you can deploy agents using that models, and these agents can work together. So you have an agent for your inventory, you have an agent for your forecast, and you have an agent for your supply, and all of these working together to anticipate what is going to happen and be aware of the environment and using these tools. And this is really interesting. And of course, the more agency you give the to AI, more controls you need to put in place, right? So it's these MCP tools need to be secure. How you really give the agents first class citizen in your environment, and this is what the intra agent ID is coming to solve. This is also quite recently announced, and this will make things easier to do. And again, you don't need to use just the Microsoft agent framework to build the agent because they support the A2A protocol. You can create an agent in another different language or different framework and still make they work together inside your environment. That's really interesting. And all of these, you still can run they as a container running inside your Kubernetes. So yeah, this is a little bit more on the agent-to-agent protocol and the MCP. So if you're not familiar with these terms yet, just doing a quick recap. The MCP is the Model Context Protocol. It's a protocol that has been around for 1 year, was created by Anthropic and was adopted by all major, I believe, as a standard right now for the AI community as a way of using tools. So your agent can communicate with the Salesforce APIs and make it connections and acting in behavior of you. And then you have the A2A, a little less popular, but recently getting more and more support for different vendors that will become the protocol to really connect and give it this agent identity and what is the capabilities of the agent. So imagine that you have this two agents. One is the procurement agents can communicate with the logistic agent, and they can coordinate the shipments and will enable this cross-organizational workflow. Of course, with power come a lot of responsibilities, and these tools really make the AI really more powerful to use, not just a chatbot, but for the future as agents and autonomous that can really make having their work done. So imagine this agent in the level 5 happening in here. So an event will trigger an inventory monitoring agent that can check the levels, and this will can create by a custom model, a demand forecast, and this will connect to another agent via A2A to send emails and send and store documents and send these mails. Of course, all of these, if you think, I could do this as a simple workflow programmatically, but you cannot change these models and make it the. You can make this. You can use these models to write down and take decisions that it is not really totally 100% deterministic. So this is the beauty on this, right? You don't need to really think if something happens and it broke, so you need to really go back and change all your algorithms to just change because one thing changed. But because of these models today, especially LLMs, you can make changes in that it is a bit less deterministic, but giving this flexibility to change. Okay, so this is it. So you have seen the map. This is a really quick guide on AI on AKS. And this is my question. Now that where you will begin? When? Thank you. So we have questions from here, Said?
Not yet. There is no any question. You can continue.
Hey, yeah. So if I can continue, I'm really implementing all these changes that I have showing here. I'm using in Azure. I would share my GitHub here on the chat, but we have a question here from Pablo. So, what are the reasons to deploy a team of agents orchestrate with the Microsoft agent framework in AKS instead of doing it as a hosted agent in the Microsoft Foundry? So you can do both. There is no. What happens is inside AKS you have a little more of control, but of course you will have at the same time you are responsible for maintaining the infrastructure to run your agent. I believe in Microsoft Foundry, you don't need to worry about the infrastructure that you are deploying your agent. But again, if you have an agent and you want to run that inside your Kubernetes services, it's just that you have a bit more control on when you're spinning up that agents or not. But it's really possible to do that, and that's the beauty of Azure. You can do in different ways of and connecting these servers, even if they are in different platforms. Thank you. Okay, so this is it, my presentation. I come to the end, and if you want to follow how I will implement this, each of these levels, I will be doing in this repo. So please follow along. I just made a fork from the Azure samples, and I'm implementing these levels of making an intelligent app.
Thiago, one question. Do you share your screen? Because we can only see your presentation, so I believe you.
Oh no! I just share. Sorry, I just share the. I just share the link actually. Not sure if I can. Yeah, but it's just the same here. Maybe you are seeing this screen now.
Yeah, I'm adding to the screen right now. Let me remove this one and add this one. Okay.
Yeah. So I just starting doing this and creating these uh, changes in the Darp store and implementing all of these levels. I will start with the AI descriptions, and I will be deploying this. Probably will not be up all the time, but the code will be in here. Let me see if I can. And this is the Darp store. It's a really simple one in this case, showing the catalog and stuff. And you can deploy this. Oops. Yeah, I had some problem here. I need to check if. But this is the Darp store, and this is a nice way really to starting playing with the Kubernetes in a different way that it is a little more. Let's say Darp is a project that was created to solve microservices, right? Sometimes you could build a microservice, but they are not really reliable because if they go down in the Kubernetes, but they create this state and pub sub that make the connections and the API calls between microservices much easier. Okay, we have another question from Pablo. Let me just get here. So in Microsoft Foundry, we have an option for evaluating in tracer agents. Is that also possible when the agent is deploying AKS and still have these AI monitoring and evaluating features? Um, I'm not totally sure if it is the same features that you have in the Foundry, but I'm sure that we have some frameworks to do evals in these agents. And you have different open telemetry for doing this and for doing evaluation as well. So yes, I believe. No, I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with the Foundry in these agents, but this part of eval and tracing is kind of a standards for how you're doing when you are building LLM applications. So I'm pretty sure that it is also possible to do an AKS. Okay. Yeah, I have planned this for 30 minutes, so I hope this is what we are expecting. And I really enjoy having done this presentation and be part of the Microsoft Learn community. I will stop sharing my screen, and thank you. And if you want to add me, I'm on LinkedIn, and you can find me through this QR code.
Good, nice, perfect. So we learned a lot of things in terms of how we can leverage Kubernetes clusters in with AI, I would say. I personally working with specific things. You already heard about that, or for those that they are interesting to learn about that, it's about edge AI. And when it comes to the edge AI, since my expertise is around the migration and hybrid cloud, I've been working closely with Azure Arc Solutions, Kubernetes, and also how we can bring those kind of AI into, let's say, on-premise or IoT devices. So these things that Thiago shared with us today, I can say it's fundamentals of understanding edge AI and how we can bring those AIs into action. So thank you so much, Thiago. It was really nice. And also we got this from Pablo.
Thank you, Paulo. Thanks for having
Good,
me.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think Pablo was the only person who asked the questions. So what I ask from Pablo, please reach out our LinkedIn page send your email address, and you will get the 50% discount for any exam for Microsoft exams. So please reach out to us and make sure that you connected with us. For those that they would like to follow us in social medias, there is a QR code there. You can scan it. It's basically it's our microsofthero.com webpage. And if you scroll all of the way down, you can see how you can connect it with us. And also you can get the schedule of the next sessions and so on. So perfect. Thank you so much again, Thiago, for the information that you share with us, your valuable knowledge. And then, yeah, I think it's all good.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and congrats, Pablo. Okay, see you in the next one.
Yeah, definitely. Take care. Have a good one. Bye for now.